Today I'm going to step through a thing you can do with your PowerPoint presentations to turn them into handouts. So I'm not going to cover turning them into a book. This will just be single page handouts that you could staple together and you can print them however you like. One thing I've wanted to do is be able to get my PowerPoint presentations and turn them into handouts that I can write notes on, but I can also leave a bit of branding on top and things like that. So obviously PowerPoint has functions to be able to export and turn things into multiple page documents. So you've got your sort of printing options and you can see that it'll print both at once. That's fine. What I'm doing is just a little bit different. I want to add some extra things and potentially turn them into little booklets that I would print out and staple and be able to use them for all kinds of things with front covers and stuff like that. So so this is something that I've done for a company and it seemed to work pretty well for an event they were running, but you might want to use it in your classes, or you might want it just for your own your own reference, so you don't have to open up PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do is have a similar layout to this 2-page option. I've got A4 page settings, and this works in both Publisher, Affinity Publisher, and the new Affinity in the Layout Studio. So what I've done, I want to speed this up. So I've put my branding, I've started a master page and I've put my branding, my little watermark, and a section down the bottom for notes. So I've just drawn a rectangle with lines, a bit of text, and a page number. So the page number is just a text box, and you just instead of typing something in, you just go to text, insert, fields, page number. So you have to have the icon actually flashing at the time, and it'll give you the page number, and then you can apply that to whichever pages in the text you actually want your page number to be. So I've got an example, so I've got a title page, and then on the other side of that I might have an introduction or some information as to what the purpose of this document is, and then the rest I've got a few blank pages. Now the thing I haven't done yet is actually draw the areas where the pages will go, the actual PowerPoint pages. So what I'm going to do first is export the PowerPoint in a way that I think will be helpful. So if you've got Affinity and you want high resolution images from PowerPoint, there's two options. One is you can export each page as, and you probably know about this, you can save as, and then in your area wherever you want to save them, you can save them as JPEGs, so JPEG file format. Now the only problem with that is it won't actually create them in 1920 by 1080 high resolution. They're still high-ish resolution and probably good enough for A4 or letter size handouts, but if you want some high resolution versions of your presentation, you can actually use Affinity. So you can create the slides, the individual slides, that's no problem, but if you want the actual high resolution, or as high as you want, you can go a different route. So you can export the document as a PDF. So export PDF and then create your PDF file. Okay, so I've already got one here. I'll just create a new one anyway. And with that file, I'm going to actually open that in Affinity. So I'm going to open, and then you'll see there's one here. So I'll just use that because it's the same one anyway. And you'll see it gives me some options. One of them's DPI. So it'll just create a high resolution version, which is actually unflattened. So you can also change anything you like in there as well, which is pretty, could be useful. And then you can export it again. So it seems like we're going back and forth here, but you can export it as JPEG images or PNGs if you like. I'll just go with JPEG, and you can see each image now has an option of size and width. So I could just keep it like that, or just to maybe save a bit of space, I'll just do 1920 and it should just fix it straight to 1920 by 1080, and then I'll export that. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to come back to this document, and first thing I want to do is I want to get a page size sample so I can draw a actual frame around it. So I'll just go to place, and then I will grab one of these and I'll just place that in the document. So I've got my margins set here to 10 millimeters, and what I want to do is just put a picture on the screen and then get a picture frame and actually size it over the top. Then I can just get rid of that. Now I've got a sample page, and I can hold down Control and Shift and actually just make a new copy, and then just shuffle things around a little bit so it fits. So what I've got now is my master page. It's got my watermark, 2 spots for slides, notes, and a page number. So what I can now do is I want to flow this master page through the document and use all of my slides. So all I have to do is note down which pages I want, so 3 to 9. I don't think I have enough slides, but you can see what I mean. So 3 to 9, and then apply, and it should populate the whole document. Yes. So next thing is we need some slides. So now we're going to place the images in each section. So we've got all our slides already saved and they're in a folder, and now I'm going to populate these pages. So for that, I'm actually going to go up to File, Place again, and I'm going to grab all of them, just drag a box over the whole lot, and that will create a list of the files. And then basically I'm just going to drop them in as they come, and you can, I think you can rearrange them as well. So then we can just go through, and you can see the queue there, so I can just do the whole lot in one go without going back and forth. You can of course just grab them from your folder and drag them across one by one if you like, so you can do it this way where you can drop them in, but the whole point of it is you're populating a whole document with these slides, and they're all going to fit perfectly. One thing I didn't mention was the color settings. So in your document setup, when you first start it, you want to set it to CMYK. So when you print it, because if this is a handout that's going to be printed, you want to make sure it's in CMYK, so there's no funny stuff that happens with your pages. So, and there you have it. You've got a document with title, introduction page, and then your handouts, which might look quite nice for your students or your own records, and a little section for notes, and plus the page numbers, as you see. So everything that the page numbers have been applied to, you'll get your page number down the bottom. So I hope this helps, and if you want me to go into more detail or make another video on another aspect of this kind of thing, just let me know.